me. Ew, gross!
Hello and welcome to episode 29 of That's Gross, your favorite hockey podcast. I'm Mike. I'm joined by JB and Jake. How are we doing here, boys? Jake, what's up?
Not much, Mike. Just grinding through it, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
work's been an absolute nightmare recently. So, as JB said before we hopped on, best way to describe it is living the dream, which means you're not living the dream, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's
So,
very, very
JB,
true.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, boys. Same thing, grinding away at work. Uh, Currently watching this Bruins team that I don't know what to think about. I don't know if we're absolute dog poop or we're good or we're somewhere in between.
We are not
But
good.
We can
yeah,
we can swear on this podcast, just so you know. Yeah,
I
but it
might
is
end up getting a government job, so I don't know. Gotta be safe.
a government job. Wow. New thing every day. But yeah, it's definitely not a team you want to put the stock of your emotional and mental well-being into. That's for sure. Unless you want to, you know,
Kill yourself.
yeah, have someone take your shoelaces away at some point because it's messy back there. But I will say they are pretty fun to watch. At least like it's usually not super boring. There's if they're not playing well, they're playing alarmingly bad. So there's that. Yeah, we are watching the game live against Buffalo while we record here. It is Hollow Eve, so I don't know if you guys have anything going on. If you got any, Jake, I don't know if you have any like tight, nurse outfits that you're planning on wearing or anything like that planned.
Nah, I'm actually not a huge Halloween guy.
Not a big Halloween guy.
Not a big Halloween guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I'm not either. I don't think. Are there a lot of guys that are big Halloween guys? Like I know that's a pretty big holiday for the for the
Sluts.
women. Yeah, sluts love that holiday. That is probably the top slut holiday, right? It's got to be
Yeah,
because
for
it's not
sure.
it's not a familial holiday. It's just go out there in the streets and wear your skinniest article of clothing.
Because they
So
don't do enough of that already.
not doing anything though, Jake. Like you're not going out. You're not gonna put on like a pirate hat or something. Just playing.
Um, as of right now, I have no plans. They have like this thing at work that you're supposed to wear a costume. I'll probably just wear a red shirt and khakis and be Jake from State Farm like I do every fucking year.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, that's really it. I don't know. I'm sure I'll find some. I'll go to a bar or something. You know,
Find
low
some
key.
action. JB,
Yeah.
what about yourself?
Whether or not I'm a Halloween guy,
No, like what are you doing? Are
I
you
was once a Halloween guy.
Buddy the Elf.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you and that Buddy the Elf costume was pretty electric, I'm not gonna lie. That was a green light if I've ever seen one. Well, no, I mean I'm not really either. I don't tend the extent of it when I was like a wee lad was dressing, I'd put a hockey jersey on. That was pretty much the extent of what I ever
That's
did.
another go-to.
Which shows you, through and through just a hockey guy. Maybe I'll wear the puck don't lie hat and throw together some kind of outfit. Probably not though. But yeah, boys, I mean, not a whole lot going on. I thought for this episode we could get into, we'll talk a little bit about kind of what's going on, like the bees a little bit and around the league, but I mean, at a certain point, everyone cares about their own team, and then you want to make the playoffs, you want to win a cup. So like it's not really worth getting into the day to day stuff. Um, especially in Boston, like there's not a huge ceiling on what this team is going to be. So I figured to start, we could talk some contract stuff Couple contracts that came out. Logan Cooley signed a pretty big deal over in Utah. That team is buzzing right now as well. They're
They're
flying.
sick.
Yeah,
They're
they're playing unreal. And it's kind of what I was gonna center this episode about is just the league right now. Like it is early, we're like 10, 12 games in, but if you look at the top five teams right now, they are not the teams that kind of we typically expect, you know? So
it
yeah, going
kind of seems like the league is taking like a bit of a turn, like a shift. Like if you look at the playoffs over the past like 5 to 7 years, for the most part, it's all the same teams that have been in the mix for a while. And then like kind of started last year, you see Montreal sneaks in, Ottawa finally gets in there. Now Utah, I mean, obviously formerly Arizona, but they were struggling for a while and had like a lot of these good pieces. They're getting in. Who else do we got?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my question to you guys, I guess, before, and the other contract was Natchez, who was a UFA. He locked himself down in Colorado. But my question to you guys is, do you think that this is going to keep up? Because right now the top teams are the Devils are on fire, which, you know, they've been a team kind of getting there. Injuries have hurt them. But it's the Devils, the Penguins, Utah, Colorado, which you kind of expect with who they have, but and then Montreal. Those are the top five teams in the league.
Should
So
we go through and say who's frauds and who's legit?
yeah, I mean, yeah, who do you think out of those teams are fraud?
I think Pittsburgh will cool down for sure. I mean, if you look at that roster, it's pretty not great. I mean, you got a couple young guys stepping in there playing good. Crosby and Malkin look like they did fucking 10 years ago. But I mean, how sustainable really is that? I feel like Malkin every year gets off to a super hot start and then kind of not falls off the face of the earth, but just like plays his age. So I'd say they're frauds for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. Um, I would probably lean that way too, although I do think they could kind of surprise because like there's a lot of new things going on. Their coach, I could see that like if they play the game the right way, you know, you put guys around Crosby enough, you know, you're going to be a hard team to beat every night. Is Justin Brazeau going to score 82 points this year? I don't know. I do think he's a pretty good player, but I don't know if he can,
Yes.
I don't think he can keep that up. So that's probably fair. Uh, but you know, even just like a team like Utah, like that's a team that is just like you said, they've been building for a while in Arizona, and they just kind of keep adding some young players. They're getting a little bit older and forming a pretty good team. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say they're a cup favorite, but the teams that we would consider cup favorites, you know, the last couple of years have been Edmonton and Florida.
Dallas.
I mean, it's going to be tough for both those teams to even get in, like especially Florida. You know, I think they were going to do it, but if they don't have Kachuk and Barkov all year, that's not going to be easy. You know,
Yeah, it just leveled the playing field like so much for everybody else.
yeah,
Like there's really no clear cut favorite right now. I mean, Edmonton always gets off to slow starts. They'll be fine. They'll get in the playoffs and then like you'd say them, but like after that, like it's really
It's wide open.
yeah, it's wide open exactly.
yeah. I'd have to look the last couple of years, and I don't even know how to look this up, but I mean, you know, there's a lot of pair like the Bruins where they are right now is probably, you know, 18th in the league or maybe even lower than that, but
Oh, they're lower than that. I
lower. But my
think
point
they're
is that
last in the Eastern Conference right now.
yeah, but my point is that they like points wise, they aren't that far away. And it's because obviously, you know, you're only 10, 12 games in, but that's where I wonder if like, you know, the month of January comes around where some of these teams going to be. But kind of the conversation I wanted to have is like you look at the Bruins and you look at Utah and like, you know, obviously that team's been building for 10 years. Same with Montreal. I mean, they've been building for 5, 6 years, drafting high picks, developing these players, kind of struggling, but going that route where they completely retool. And then you look at what the Bruins are trying to do here. it just brings up an interesting kind of experiment where if you're the general manager of a team like the Bruins, do you handle it in the way that they are? Like, okay, where the Bruins are at, the two options I see is to see how the season goes and draft everything you have. And the alternative would be to trade some of these assets that you now have. Like, we talked about a couple picks they have. Are you guys of the camp they should 100% draft and take those selections that they have, like the Leafs pick, the Panthers pick, their own?
I think yes, unless something comes along that really makes you change your mind on that. Like I know a couple weeks ago we were talking about they were making a trade for Jack Eichel. Like if a player like that comes available where it's really going to move the needle for your franchise and where you're at right now and fills a massive need that puts you in contention, then you do it. But other than that, like they're not one piece away from like being a contender. They're pretty far away from being a contender. Let's be honest. So
Yeah.
moving up just a pick for like a scoring winger isn't going to do anything for you this year.
I agree. I guess like maybe think about it differently. Like maybe not Jack Eichel per se, but a guy like JJ Peterka. Like if you could acquire a guy like that for, say, the Maple Leafs first round pick, is that a trade that you think helps the team, or do you think because it's essentially like real estate. Like you want to buy a property and rent it out and hold it, like these prospects, you're gonna make every pick you have and really play the long game, or are you going to try to flip it? And
Yeah,
I
no
mean, I
doubt make that trade. Sorry, JB, I didn't mean to
no,
cut you off.
you're good. No, I mean, I think I know we've talked about this before, Mike. Like, I definitely think I'm more on the side that I think if you can go out and get guys that are impactful, it's worth it. Just because my biggest thing when it comes to this conversation is like, how comfortable am I with this Bruins front office drafting and developing? Because like we got so used to having Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci for so many years. Yeah, there was a lot of plug and play guys, but like you look at right now, like who's made an impact even like this year is Fraser Minton. Yeah, Sweeney went out. Sweeney's great at getting those trades or just finding guys that are obviously good in another organization, but I just don't know how comfortable I am with specifically speaking about the Bruins being the ones driving the train when it comes to drafting. I think if you have the ability to go and get a guy that's proven to some degree, I'd rather that. But I mean, there's a lot of guys. The A is it's such a weird place. Like you look at this Providence Bruins team and they're absolutely rolling right now. But I don't know. I mean, will it translate? Is this the year that maybe we can bring up a couple of guys mid-season or whatever, and we start to see that impact from the youth? But that's kind of my take on it.
yeah, yeah, I definitely hear that. It's a tough thing with having a general manager. Sweeney has made some good moves, but he's also made some moves that aren't great, and the drafting hasn't been super, amazing. I mean, they've made some good picks. I think Charlie McAvoy was a good one. Swayman,
Pasta.
yeah, and Pasternak was the regime prior to this one. But outside of, I would say, Pasternak, McAvoy is still kind of up in the air. Like he's a guy we didn't really talk about in the last episode. I think he's a great player and a leader, but the last couple of years haven't really seen, I think, that elite number one Charlie McAvoy that we were kind of all just expecting after he jumped into the league the way he did. So, outside of Pasternak, and I guess maybe Swayman, do you really have an elite guy you've picked in the last 12, 13 years? Granted, their picks haven't been high, but they haven't done, extremely well with that. So it just makes you think like, the way they built this team in the offseason, even. It's not the way I would have done it, and I don't hate it. I'm not a professional GM, but they went a route with it, and we'll see. I guess we'll just see how this year goes and if that was wrong. Do you guys think if the Bruins really struggle and miss the playoffs, are they going to move off of Don Sweeney? Do you think that's kind of something in consideration?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think
I just
things
think
have
this.
go ahead. Sorry.
I just think this organization is in such a weird spot where it's like going into this year, it's like, were you really expecting like Sweeney to be able to put together enough stuff to have a season to go out and like make the playoffs or whatever? I mean, like I think I had a glimmer of hope, but I think in the big picture, if by the end of this year, if they are struggling all year and from a fan's perspective, it's been awful, but we end up getting a high pick, hint, hint, give us McKenna. I mean, I think then you start to let everything develop and
Yeah.
you give, but what also to what you're pretty much asking that I don't have an answer for, it's just like, what does the leash look like on that? Does he have a 2 year window? Because you go out and we end up with McKenna in the AHL. The P Bruins are looking really good, and it seems like your prospects are, or at least some of them, might turn out. Like, what does that leash look like? Is it that long? I mean, you give them a couple of years, and then I think that's it. But
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of makes me think of like even a team like Toronto, right? Like, all right, Toronto realized, okay, we can't win the way we're trying to play. So let's bring in a coach to try to make our players play a different way. And it just kind of makes me think like you look at Washington, how they retooled a little bit and it maybe didn't really work incredibly. I guess we'll see if they win a cup or something, but um there isn't really one way to do it, I guess. You just got to do what's right for your group and for your team. And I guess that's kind of the conversation we've had before is like, okay, well, if you really go the long route, outside of a guy like Gavin McKenna, who probably could come in immediately, you're now really delaying this a couple of years. So, if a trade comes up, maybe they do look to get better. Um, I still have the mindset that if they got just like another top six forward, this team is a lot better. I mean, I just think that second line plays kind of die, bless you, over there.
Tried to
But
mute it. Didn't work. Thank you.
yeah, I mean, it's really just tough. It's tough to know. But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on.
because it's a weird time because you have the guys that you just talked about, right? Pasta, Chucky. It's like my biggest thing with a rebuild is I view it the same way I view the game of hockey, and it's that a lot of things need to go right. And you hear that year after year whenever a team wins the Stanley Cup, it's like obviously they're a great team and them being good put them in a position to win, but it's a game of inches. And I kind of view that the same way I do. Like a lot of things need to go right if you dive completely into this is going to be a rebuild and we're starting at floor one. And you see it. I mean, there's so many teams. How many players have Buffalo gone through that they just have not been able to build and build and build? So it's like you obviously need a front office that knows what they're doing, which I don't know if they know how to completely rebuild a team. And a lot of things need to go the right way. You got to draft and develop, and guys need to stay healthy. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough, but I think I still deep down, I really don't think it's not that this team is far away. I think a lot right now is identity. I think you bring in a coach, Marco Sturm. It's a new system, and I don't think we should be harping on that. Like they make millions of dollars to figure this out, but there are a lot of guys that have played a very, perfect system for so many years in Pasta and Chucky. And it's like, it's got to be hard to have this be your job and you're switching up all your daily tasks to a certain degree. So I do think it's going to take longer than we anticipated for that aspect.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like Marco Sturm, like, just going off of what you're saying. Like, I've really liked his demeanor. The success early on hasn't been incredible. Not that we expected it to, but again, I bring up Utah, Montreal, and kind of where those teams are at, where they have these guys, no matter how young. I think Utah's core is a little older than Montreal's is, but guys who are of the similar age who are essentially growing up together and who are, like as the Bruins have said it. I think there's a clip of McAvoy saying it, like you become a family, right? Where it's such a great sport where you have 4 lines of forwards, 3 lines of D, 2 goalies, and everyone's pulling their weight. Everyone's bringing something different to the table. And I definitely think, yeah, I mean, I don't think they should be rebuilding completely. I think the question definitely, and Jake, I honestly think you said it well. Like, I think if the right move comes along, you definitely consider it, but you play the waiting game. Uh, I just think they're in a tough spot with what they need because essentially they need an elite center who's like 24 to 28 and one more elite winger who's of that same age. And those are not things that come around too often.
Matt Barzal.
Yeah, I would love Matt Barzal or Connor McDavid or Jack Eichel. I mean, even a guy like Paterka, like we just said. I think if anyone came around like that, but I think every team with the parity now is trying to compete, and I don't know if there'll be as many sellers coming around, and then it's free agency, and yeah, it's just they're in a tough spot. Like they really have to draft. So most likely, barring anything crazy and guys being available, they're gonna have to draft. They're gonna have to take those picks, and they're gonna have to hit, and we'll see what happens with that. Top guys in the league for points, though. Shout out to Nick Schmaltz, brother of Jordan Schmaltz of the Home by Three podcast. Great saying. Go for one, stay for two, home by three. He's third in points in the league right now. Jack Eichel's number one, McKinnon, then it's Schmaltz, Dylan Larkin, Macklin Celebrini, and then Nick Suzuki.
Oh,
So yeah, I mean, there's just I'm curious. Do we think a guy like Celebrini is gonna fall off a little bit here in like his points, and being on a pace the way he is, and some of these young teams, or do we think, maybe there is a shift happening here?
I mean, I definitely don't expect him to continue to put up like a 2 point per game pace. Like that's just nobody does that. McDavid doesn't even do that. I mean, he was close, but I think you'll see a huge year for him. I think he's gonna have 100+ points. I think if he doesn't make Team Canada, like it's absolute highway robbery. He should be on that team. The way he plays, 200-foot game is it's one of the best in the league. Like this kid's special. He's the future of the league.
Kid's glazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's my guy, but
I agree. He's a special player for sure. And I agree. He probably should make that team. He's definitely making a strong case. I think it always comes down to though, okay, well, who's he taking out, and then where in the lineup, because if he's a bottom six guy for Team Canada, is he that kind of player? Who would you take out for Celebrini out of that Canada line? Like you're not taking Marchand, right? Are you taking
no, I think
Jarvis?
what
Jarvis?
maybe Jarvis. I don't know. I'd have to have the roster in front of me right now, but
I mean, Bennett was in the bottom six.
I think they also have more roster spots than they did for Four Nations also.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe they could
But
not even take anybody off.
I mean you did bring up a great point. Like where does he fit in that lineup? And like probably not a top six. I think he can be a top six guy. I think you just have too many top six guys on that team for him to slot into one of those roles.
Yeah,
But
you're not
going the
taking.
other way, like I could see him playing with like Crosby and McDavid like on a line, like put him with like guys where he can play. Like he doesn't have to be as defensive. I mean, he's gonna play that way anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Like where you don't have to shelter him because he's playing with guys who are going to carry their own weight, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it would be kind of moot not to talk about even Connor Bedard. Like, he's got to be kind of at least making a case, especially if there's more spots. That shot the other night, I put it up on the Instagram, was ridiculous. I think that's maybe we'll do a segment, not even really a segment, but the gross play of the week. I don't know. Is there a better play than that snipe by Bedard?
I don't know. That's pretty sick.
Bedsy, dude. He's gross. That shot is unbelievable. Just such a fluid motion.
I mean, dude, the thing is the shot, the mechanics of the shot are changing so much. Like they used to have, obviously
Talk about a release.
I was a goalie, but like, yeah, Morgan Geeky just scored. That was sick too. But the drag that I don't know, like JB, when you grew up and you were shooting pucks and Jake as well, were you releasing it off the heel or the toe? Like, this
So I
you.
think I think our generation, as soon as I got probably like halfway through middle school, I think our generation was the first group of hockey players to start pulling the puck from our toe. I
Okay.
remember being taught early on, like once I got out of like mites, like to the mechanics of shooting a puck is like your actual wrist shot, right? You go heel to toe, curl your hands over. But I do remember like, and I think there's a video on YouTube actually of me and Mize ripping pucks in middle school. Um, but I do remember the snapshot was like pretty much becoming the most prominent shot. That and obviously you take slap shots for fun, but I will say I think our generation was probably the first set of hockey players to start um, like shooting it that way. The thing with Bedard's shot is like, I mean, just his ability to the way he brings the puck into his feet and releases, that's completely different. So I mean I genuinely that's like a mix of like his mechanics and the way the sticks are now. I mean the flex that he gets on that Sherwood dude,
Yeah.
it's insane. Like you see like clips or like pictures of like a video and it's like when he's like right in the middle of a shot and it's like I don't know how the thing's not just snapping.
No. I've seen a lot of people breaking it down and it is just crazy, like the amount that goes into it, like just the pronation of each wrist and yeah, then you see how close he gets it into his own feet and how far his hands are away from his own body. And like, dude, on that one where he came, he weaved through the neutral zone and then, got over the blue and kind of dragged it and he dragged it around a defender's stick through the guy's legs. Like, I don't know how you I don't know how you stop that. Like you almost just have to fucking take his head off because if
Well,
he's coming down on you, it's ridiculous.
from a goalie's perspective, like, did you see any of that? Like, maybe end of like middle school, eighth grade into like freshman, ninth grade, 10th grade. Like, not anyone shooting like Bedard, but I'm saying more so like them changing the angle. Like, was it
Yeah.
just guys coming down like the wall and just ripping a shot at you, or did you start to see like mechanics, or you could see the thought process of players changing?
You could definitely see that for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't play it at super high level, but the better players were definitely like dragging the puck a little bit longer, you
yeah.
know, because like if you just walk into a snapshot, like it's pretty predictable. You just have to track it and they're trying to beat you with speed, but the changing the angle is just where you don't really know which way it's going to come off the stick and where it's coming from. So it's definitely harder. I mean, and the where he put that shot too, right below the blocker, like it was absurd. Um,
Also, how much you look at how far that puck moves from when he has it all the way out and when he brings it into his body, like that's insane. Like
dude,
he's literally shooting right in front of his feet.
yeah, dude,
Like,
I've tried that on the ice, and if I really tried it, I would fall on my face, and the stick would go like up my chin.
yeah, it's insane.
To do that
Uh,
in one motion it's very difficult. He makes it look so easy.
to to shift a little bit here, I saw some stuff online. Like obviously that was Bedard's first hat trick. I saw some videos and pictures of him like absolutely buckled at the bar the night before. You guys see anything about that?
I did. I didn't know if it was real because I saw some comment on it. Because I always go in the comments to see, and I think someone had said that it wasn't him, but it did look like him. So I
It
don't
did.
know.
Yeah, so I don't know. Obviously could be a huge rumor, but Bedsy getting after it and then tucking three. It's pretty sick. But I also can't like imagine he's that type of guy. Like he's one of those guys that's so obsessed with his craft and like wants to be the best. Like he has that like Crosby McDavid mindset where I can't imagine that guy is getting crippled at the bar the night before a game.
No, no. I was watching one of the Spin Chicklets sandbaggers where they play golf against, two NHLers or ex-NHLers. And one of the things they were talking about with whoever it was, actually, you know what? It was the Tuca one, Pasternak goal there. The Tuca and Andrew Raycroft one, which was very funny. Tuca's he's a big competitor, but he had said like to Whitney sarcastically that him and Whitney were so dialed in when they played and, kind of like Bedard. And it brought up the discussion of just how dialed in these kids are now, where they get paid so early. Like Logan Cooley's what, 23? He just got a $10 million contract. Like a few years ago, $10 million was, the elites of the elites got it at like their 28 year. Now these guys are getting it at the end of their contract. So it is absurd kind of how dialed these kids have to be to make it to the NHL. And yeah, like they definitely the culture has shifted. Like I don't know how much those guys are going out. And I don't know, that kind of
You know what I think that all stems from, to be honest with you? I think it all started with the way hockey itself shifted, like you think youth hockey. And like I remember even for us, like I mean, it seems like you guys were probably in the same boat with like your parents, but there was always like a big emphasis, like play different sports, like try everything, whatever. But I think like nowadays it's a lot more. I remember like in baseball, AAU became a really big thing, or like basketball, AAU is a very big thing. And then I felt that kind of migrate into hockey. And hockey really has become, I think, in the last 10 years, like you have kids, like even, people like I'll talk to at work or whatever, and like their kids playing hockey and like it's year round. Like they're playing for their normal season. The summer comes around, they're getting asked to play on some like those tournament teams, and I remember that being a kid, like or that being a thing when we were kids.
mm,
And I think that that's kind of what's like evolutionized all of this is that you think of the Lane Hudsons, the Macklin Celebrinis. Like, do you know how much hockey they've probably played since age 10?
it's absurd.
It
Yeah.
really, now it's like if you're not playing year round, probably by 11, 12, you have kids committing to D1 colleges at 13, 14.
Yeah. It is
So
crazy.
then you get now to the NHL. I mean, that's why I think the product on the ice has just gotten unbelievable because it's like these kids have so much time on the ice. And we always say it, and same thing. Like, I'll add Jake into this as well. Like, he's coaching this year, and I know for us, like parents would always ask, like, my son wants to get better at this or better at this. And it's like, what advice do you have? And it's just do it more. You want to get better at shooting pucks, shoot a puck. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Go out in the driveway. You want to become a better skater and Lane Hudson. I mean, that kid's probably spent so many hours on the ice, just it becomes like a second nature thing.
Yeah.
And it's only going to keep getting better. So it's been huge for hockey.
No, you're
Yeah, I'm late. Hunt's dad won't even let him tie his fucking skates.
yeah. I mean, dude, think about how 2011, just the fourth liners in 2011, like fourth liners now can do the Michigan and are, not just that, but the just overall the talent in the game has went up so much, probably because of that. The physicality, I don't think is like removed by any means, but it's definitely taken more of a back seat in the game, which, I think I'm a little bit mixed about. I think it can be good. You also don't want to see it get too flag football-y out there. But yeah, no, it is absurd just how good these guys are at such a young age. And I mean, JB, what you're saying about, just doing more, I think that's everyone wants a cheat code to it, like what should my kid be doing? And that's definitely the answer. The other thing is definitely watching some of these guys because you also want to work a little smarter at times too. Like you learn by doing, but I also think you throw in a highlight tape and just kind of study some of the best players, that's going to help too, but there is no cheat code. to it.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think definitely for the creativity side of it, like you look at just like you always view it almost, or the way I feel like people should be viewing it is like when you're watching a hockey game, you see like the ice is broken up into so many different parts. And that's why like I think some of the best drills in practice are always the ones where it's like small area games or like corner battles or because those are truly the things that translate onto the ice. And I think that's the stuff you do learn, like you're saying, from watching games. It's like, how is this guy getting out of the corner? Perfect guy to watch, Brad Marchand, right?
Yeah.
He defeats pretty much everything. The guy's not big. He's probably what, 5'10", 5'11", and he comes out every.
5'9", buddy. He's
Is he
short.
5'9"?
He's
Yeah, I think he's
short.
like 5'9". Yeah.
That's
He might be
crazy. But
5'8".
yeah, well, whatever he is, he's short dude. But obviously, he's built like a tank. But I mean, it's just like there's different ways to go about it going into the corner. Like you watch him, he probably has so many different little intricate details that he does to either get guys off of pucks or whatever. So it's like that is the stuff you have to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you can because I think that's some of the critique of players playing one sport and just like working on so many skills that they lose the IQ part of it. So I think it's always important to remind people to like, I don't know who's listening to this, but we're just talking out loud. It's just, if I was a kid and I had the brain that I have now, fuck, I don't know. I probably still wouldn't be playing competitive hockey, but I at least would have known a lot better. And
It would have made a difference.
you just watch guys like Pasternak, like he just scored out here, right? Like there's a difference between having a good shot and knowing the mechanics of it and also then just knowing how to beat a goaltender. Because if you don't understand like what a goalie's doing and how they move and how they react to plays and little things, little subtleties about the position, then you're probably not gonna be a good goal scorer. Pasternak might not be the fastest or like the best hands or the sickest shot, hardest shot, but he just really like the guy just is smooth. Like the goal he had the other night against the Islanders was a great example. Fake pass from Lindholm or fake shot into a pass from Lindholm, and the goalie has to kind of overcommit and he holds the puck and goes 5-hole. Like a lot of guys catch that and they rip it glove side, but the goalie had no chance going 5-hole on it. So, yeah, definitely all true. One other thing I wanted to talk about, something we've said before, but this was another thing. The newest Chicklets episode, they had the Utah owner on. And Bizanet brought up something about just watching the game. And I think he had a conversation with Smith about when newer people to hockey watch the game, a lot of them just can't follow the puck because it is such a fast game. And so I was just gonna ask you guys if you had any thoughts on how to change the viewing experience on the TV because obviously going to a game is the best way to consume the game. Like there's nothing better. It's the best thing to do, best sport to watch live. But in terms of TV, like any thoughts on how you could make it a little bit easier to watch, better to watch?
As far as like an actual like broadcasting,
Yeah, I
like are
mean,
you saying like change the way the cameras are being displayed?
yeah, like just a general question that, if anything comes up for you.
I think natural broadcast, the way that it's done now, isn't completely horrible, but I think in certain parts of the game, I think they could change camera angles to fit what's going on in the game. So like what makes me think of that would be like a power play. Like I think there's different angles you could do, especially if the puck's primarily in one end. There's cameras that are showing from the back view that show you a little bit more of like the play itself developing. Because
Yeah.
that's like the whole thing. Like I know when I go to games, like I think the best seat in the house really is a couple rows up in the balcony because you get to see the actual play develop and D to D, and then you see the forwards start rushing up or filling lanes, and that's how you're reading the actual play of the game, right? Like that's how you can see where the puck's going. But I think as far as watching it on TV, I just think I think we've been stuck in our ways for a while here. And we've had the conversation, how sick would it be to have a bar, right? And it's like that VR thing. I think there's one in Dallas or somewhere in Texas, but um, I think just every hockey fan or anyone that's watching the game should be rioting that we want different angles and just a better viewing experience because so many streaming platforms are whacking us 30, $40 a month, and it's like, it's just not that great.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think there's one in LA too. But those, I don't even, how would you describe it? Like it's pretty much like put on a headset of
It's like it's
and
pretty much like there's a camera like in the lower bowl of an arena, and it's like a wide lens, so it gives you the illusion that like you're almost sitting there.
yeah.
But it's just a completely like different view than just watching the game the way we are right now, right? Like that sideways broadcast view.
Yeah, and it is unique to hockey because I think you talk about maybe football, even basketball. Basketball, like floor seats would be sick, but hockey is like everyone says, like you have to go to a game. So to get a camera like you're actually in the game, I think would be unreal. And that would probably open a lot of people's eyes just how good the sport is to watch and it has everything. Jake, any thoughts on that? Anything
I've
different?
actually been like I've been listening to some older podcasts like Spitting Chicklets and Busting with the Boys recently. And like, obviously, like they kind of go into different perspective because like they don't know as much about hockey as like their normal listeners on Spitting Chicklets. And they compared like hockey and football. And you look at hockey, it's like it's better in person. Like you want to see hockey, it's just the product is significantly better in person. Where the NFL, it's more of a watch it on TV kind of thing, like sit on your couch. If they can kind of replicate what the NFL is doing, like on TV, which is tough, I know. Maybe some cameras to improve that. Like I know NFL has those fucking cameras on cables, like
Yeah.
going fucking every which direction. So maybe not to that extent, but like somewhere down that road could potentially. I don't know.
I feel
I
like
guess,
where you're going, I really like that. I think why not? Why not add 10 cameras that move in different zones of the ice that
yeah.
track players, track like the puck?
As long as it doesn't infringe on the play at all. Like I mean, obviously, there's some high flips or any and stuff like in these games because the ceiling's high. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Like that's the big thing push that the NHL really needs. And like they've definitely been improving the broadcast. Like I think TNT, that panel, and ESPN that they've been bringing in these guys like Biz obviously was a great ad. Gretzky, who better than him? Like that side of it has definitely improved tremendously. But obviously the actual watching of the game has kind of been stagnant for the past 25 years. I mean, obviously you get better quality of
Camera. Yeah.
yeah, cameras, but yeah, so I mean, I'm sure we'll see something in the next 10 years or whatever, but I think it'd be huge for hockey if you could kind of replicate what the NFL is doing and make it a more viewed on TV. And it'd also bring a lot more revenue. The players make more money.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And they're also, I mean, they're making more money. So, I mean, everything is trending in a good direction. You love to see it because those guys were drastically underpaid for years. So that's all good to see. Other than that, guys, I don't really think I got much else hockey wise. Like, fuck it. It's 10 games into the year. They're playing Buffalo. Like, we don't need to break everything down. Unless you guys have any other thoughts, I figured just keep it casual.
You just brought something up actually that I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
So you said NHL players are drastically underpaid, which I agree with, but it's because of like all the other sports, right? So do you think hockey players are drastically underpaid or other athletes are drastically overpaid? mean, you got some of these basketball players making $70 million a fucking year.
Yeah. I mean,
Like that's
think
crazy.
I think the right answer falls somewhere where the revenue is. Like what money is coming in, because at the end of the day, it's really all because of the players on the ice. Like, sure, the league management putting events on and, organizing it is great and they need money and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's really about the guys who people show up for, the guys who like Sidney Crosby, like David Pastrnak, like Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin. So, I don't really think they're as underpaid now. I was saying, 10 years ago, I think they definitely were. It's getting in a much better place, but I would say neither. I think I'd have to see the revenue and where the money is going, but I wouldn't even say the NBA guys are overpaid. I mean, they probably don't deserve that money, all things being considered, but fuck. I mean, LeBron James, like the amount of money he brings in the LA Lakers is probably a lot more than what he's getting.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I think it kind of falls somewhere in between. And like you look at hockey and it's not there making the revenue of some of these other leagues yet. I think it's definitely well on its way. And obviously we've seen in the last couple of months players are starting to make a lot more money, which is great. However, I think if you look at some of these markets and how much it costs to go to a game, and I know that's how the NHL makes most of their revenue is in-person tickets. Like cross the NBA and NHL. So you got the Rangers, for example. Say those players were on like NBA salaries, like Panarin's making $70 million. I think then if you're charging fucking $250 just to get in the building, then that's bullshit. And that is something that if you're gonna pay all these players like this much money, 50 to $70 million, like what's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
When you're making that much money, like I know Witt says it all the time, but like if it ever got to that point, then it's like bring the prices down so people like can actually afford to go to games. Like no, I'm kind of rambling on here,
No,
but I think you guys
I
know what I'm
agree.
getting at.
And JB might have something different, but I would just quickly say that, again, I think it's just about the revenue because if the players are making 70 million, the owners are probably making like God knows how much. So
Yeah.
like at
Well,
the
I
end
think
of
in
the
the
day,
NHL it's a 50-50 split. So the players as a collective and the owners, it's 50-50.
is it really?
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure it was either Jeff Merrick or Elliot Friedman's podcast. Then that's why they have the escrow. They collect money for escrow so that if the owners end up making more money than the players, then that money that was going to those escrow accounts go back to the players and they collect back on that, and then
Oh.
vice versa.
Okay.
Which I think is a good system for sure.
Yeah. No, that's more fair than I thought it was. You know. I mean, what I'm start doing is every time I go on a date is just talking about how female basketball players shouldn't be paid the same as
Oh,
NBA.
I love the way this conversation just turned.
I
I
mean,
think we
we've
should
said it
keep that.
before on here, but it's not even a sexist thing. It's just like it is a funny way to know if some person is, if you're gonna get along with them. If a woman is very much on this thing of like, why do they not get paid the same? It's like I would love to enlighten you.
Yeah, I mean it's a business at the end of the fucking day, and the WNBA is a non-profitable business. They're losing fucking money, and these bitches are holding out like pay us what we're worth. Well, actually, if you want to get paid what you're worth, you would actually owe the fucking league money. So they just don't seem to get it. I mean, if you look at like the PWHL too, like as far as I'm concerned, there's really no affiliation with the NHL there. Like the NHL is not giving them money. Like yes, it's promoting it. But like the players make pretty similar amount of money. I mean, maybe with all the bullshit and complaining the WNBA is doing, now they're making more. But
Female hockey is in a way better place, and I don't even watch it
absolutely.
either. But hockey in general is just a sport that is just better to watch, especially if the level is a little bit lower, like college hockey. Providence, minor league hockey. Like it's just you watch shitty basketball. Like I think Shane Gillis on his podcast talks about his dad is a coaches youth girls basketball and the games will be like 2-8. And it's like, what are we doing? You're just watching people miss shots, No one wants to do that. Whereas hockey, there's speed, physicality, and some finesse. So I hope all those girls start making some more money. I think that's going in a great place too.
Yeah, and they want hitting too, which is great. Like they want full contact. Like Erdy, I watched part of a game like some point last year, and it's already pretty physical for like girls. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
They want it like the NHL is like full.
Yeah, those
Like they
girls
want
are
to wear
nuts.
half
Too.
shields, like
They're hockey people through and through. Like they don't want to
Yeah.
get coddled.
And
So
another big difference between the WNBA is this is gonna sound blunt as hell, but they're actually fucking skilled.
oh yeah, of course.
Like those girls are nasty. Like they fucking kick all of our asses.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes, I think if I got hot, I could jump in there. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I don't really have much else. Bruins up 2-0 here over the Sabres with like 4 shots on goal. So good start for them. Yeah, unless you guys really have anything else. We've gone for like 50 minutes. I don't know.
Boys, the wheels are back on. I just ripped this entire podcast. My wheels are on.
Oh yeah, I forgot to bring that
The
up. All right.
wheels are back on.
So anyone who's been listening to this pod for some time now, JB's been in rehab, for
I'm sorry, dude. My money's going back on the
Flex for the
books.
kid.
Yeah, so had my appointments this afternoon. Was told everything's just about 75 to 80% like healed as far as like the bone and everything. So it's that part's back together and healed. So got the green light that I can get back on the ice and start skating. Doesn't want contact, but the wheels can go on. So I'm gonna go to work tomorrow with my skates on.
All right, don't even tie them. Get the Lane Hudson technique. The edge is going.
What's the thing, dude? The dream's back on. The wheels are on. The dream's on. So
you never know. I mean, you could just start filming yourself every day, shooting pucks outside, giving training tips to young kids. This is how you shoot like Bedard. This is how you turn like McDavid. Bars.
it's like, yeah, then all the comments just like, yeah, dude, why are you like homeless shooting pucks in someone else's driveway? All right,
Day
kids.
6 of shooting pucks in someone else's driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some dude on Instagram shooting pucks. It actually kind of made me think like when I grow up and buy a house, I actually might put a net out there and just like when you have a rough day at work, just crack a cold one and just rip pucks.
Pound pucks into a square.
Honestly, sounds sick.
He put it in one of the posts like so I don't like yell at my wife and kids. Like just take it out on the puck, It's a good
I don't
point.
beat my wife. I just take slap shots.
Dude, I used to have a nasty setup. I still kind of have it. It's in the side yard now, but built like this whole contraption that goes around the net. So if you hit a post crossbar, it doesn't use like golf netting, but it wouldn't like because I broke probably like 2 or 3 sets of fencing.
Yeah.
Put holes in my shed.
Yeah, my net was in front of my garage, and it's just completely black now. Like, there's a wood garage, it's just black with dents all over it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that we're doing a podcast and not playing in the league.
Yeah, like one of my dad's buddies would like come over. I'd be shooting in the driveway, and like they'd be having beers, working on his motorcycles or whatever. And just every time it's a chirp, like, do you ever fucking hit the net? It's like, yeah. It's like, doesn't fucking look like it. All right, dude, come on.
Those dad jokes, they always get you. They always get you with that.
Yeah.
Like, pretty funny looking. It reminds me of Sidney Crosby's was it laundry machine? Like his washer or dryer?
Yeah, the dryer.
There could be a content piece. Maybe we'll make a t-shirt. Just put a dryer on a t-shirt with like 600 puck marks in it.
And puck don't lie.
Pretty yo, dude. It's a pretty legendary dryer. It's got to be the most legendary dryer there is.
Oh,
Put like an 87 sticker or something on the dryer.
Dude,
actually, it's probably some crazy famous dryers from porn videos.
shows you where his
Helps
head's
that,
at.
bro. I'm stuck in the dryer.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No, you
No
don't
one
think so?
remembers those dryers. No one's like, oh, remember that dryer though?
Oh, I do.
You know like
Sid
the
the-
brand of dryer that she was getting piped in.
Sid the Kid's dryer, dude, is literally in a museum.
We should make an Instagram, like take that username before anybody else does.
What?
If you haven't already. Like Sid the Kid's dryer.
Yeah.
There's a meme account. Crosby's dryer. You know, before
Maybe that's our way out, dude. Just make different Instagram accounts that we think people might want and then just sell them.
someone's like, yo, can I use this? You're like, yeah, $4,000. Like, dude, you have no followers. Before we go though, I did forget to ask you guys. We kind of did this before. I can cut this if we feel like it, but the build a player. But I was thinking of more elaborate. Like I think before we just picked two. What if you had to pick like the shot, the skating ability, the hands, the vision, and like height, and what position? Like what would you guys do? Because I already wrote mine. I mean, I think everyone's gonna have some piece of McDavid in there.
I mean, why don't we just start this next pod?
What do you mean?
Like you told me and Jake like what to do, and then we'll just think about it and come back because like so we
Okay.
come back with an actual
Yeah, exactly. It's a little too short.
not brutal answer because we're gonna spend the next 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean Solani's hands. Fuck, who's another guy?
Fucking Joe
Like,
Sakic's
there's so many players.
Joe Sakic's forehead,
I'm taking Hank's hog.
Hank's hog. Yeah, let's get real specific with that. Yeah, guys, we got some new merch coming out soon. Uh, some gross hockey hats that I think we're pretty excited about. So check those out. And yeah, thanks for listening. You probably should see a therapist, but you're outsourcing it by listening to this podcast. So hopefully you're doing well. Have a great week.
Peace.
Peace.